You're very welcome back. Now, Eimear Brazil's in the kitchen this morning from the kitchen shift, and she's making a very hearty fish chowder.
Perfect, nice, comforting dish. Not too sure of fish at this time of the morning, but listen, Eimear.
It might be a wee early for it.
Great to have you with us.
Thank you so much.
Tell us. So, I would imagine with a chowder, a lot goes into it.
It is, but you know, the thing is, it comes together kind of fast, but you do need to take your time because I've just had onions softening here for around 10 minutes in a bit of butter. Because you don't want to get them caramelized, you just want to get them nice and translucent, especially because chowder is like a white base. You don't want to get really any colour on the dish itself. So after the onions are softening, you're just going to go in with your carrots and your spuds.
Now, they're chopped to an inch of their life. There must have been a lot of chopping going on.
There is a wee bit of chopping going on with those. But the thing is, you can chop them to any size you want. You just need to take into account that it's going to take that little bit longer if they are that little bit bigger. But the most important thing is that they're like even-ish in size, no matter what size they are. Just make sure they're pretty similar.
So salt and then flour, obviously, to kind of thicken it up a bit.
Yeah, for sure. And it's not totally necessary. Some people don't like that thick of a chowder, so it's totally up to yourself if you want to add it.
I like it thicker, do you?
So do
I don't like runny soup.
Neither do I, neither do I. So after you go in with the flour, you're just going to cook that out just for a few minutes because you don't want that like chalky, floury taste when you taste the chowder. So after you cook that out, you're going to deglaze with some white wine. So turn up the heat to high.
We're obviously in TV time now, but how long would you really take to be kind of cooking those vegetables down?
Well, the thing is, I'm going to show you in a second. After I add the milk and the cream, they're going to sit on the stove for at least 10 to 15 minutes.
Oh, right, okay, so they will cook down.
It all depends on the size as well, you know. So the wine is going to scrape any of that flour. Do you know when you put flour in, sometimes it gets stuck to the end of the pot? So when you turn the pan on high and then deglaze with a bit of white wine, you're going to lift anything that's stuck to the end of the pot, but you're also going to add a little bit of acidity and balance to the dish. So that's what's really going to help with that.
What have you just put in there now?
So a bit of Dijon mustard. And if you have only whole grain at home, it would also be amazing. So no stress there. It really just is for the flavour element of it. And then just a little bit of lemon juice as well.
Right.
And that's the kind of base of it. We'd obviously just reduce that wine just a little bit more if you're making at home. And then the last thing that we go in with is our dairy. Now, a lot of chowders will actually have 100% cream in them. I personally would be in ribbons if I use that much cream in my dishes, so I do not. So I just go in and cover everything that's in the pot with your dairy. Splash of cream as well.
That was just milk, was it?
That's just straight milk, and then just a bit of cream as well. But then another thing that I do, I make my own homemade chicken stock cubes. So, and because you know the homemade chicken.
How do you make your homemade?
You just make a chicken stock, and then you just reduce it even further. You strain it, reduce it further.
How do you turn it into jelly?
It's actually the bones. So the longer it cooks, it'll form like a gelatinous state.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
So it kind of does it itself.
Wow.
So this is what it would look like if that was sitting.
It's not the bones don't turn into jelly. You think of the fat coming off.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah.
Yes,
jelly.
you can use that fat as well for stuff.
Right.
So this is something that I love about this recipe is that I actually take out a little bit of it. Is this going to splash? No, it's not. I'll take out a little bit of it and blitz it. And it'll actually just intensify the flavour of the chowder. And it will give it like a little bit more body. And
when does the fish go in?
The fish goes in now.
So that'll
thicken it up. It's like putting a bisto or something into it where you do like thickening up your gravy.
So many different elements of flavour here. So the fish, I have some trout here from Kilkenny, some smoked haddock from Donegal, and then I have some pollock here from actually Waterford.
Could I eat it? Would it be still called chowder if I ate it just before the fish went in?
Yeah,
no, it'd be called a potato, a stew. It'd be called a vegetable stew.
I mean, a vegetable chowder. That would be all right, wouldn't it?
But the great thing is about this is if you wanted to get ahead now, I've made this, left it in the fridge and heated it up as is. But if you wanted to even make the base the night before and then heat it up the next day for your dinner and then put in the fish
say it's
fresh.
like that. It's like if I make a stew or a chili or something like that. I always think it's nicer the next day.
Always. Always, I swear. I actually left this in the fridge, like, you're grand to leave things in the fridge for, like, between, 3 and 5 days, you're normally fine.
Oh, God, no, I wouldn't do that.
Do you think so? Why is it better the next day?
I don't know what it is, maybe just something happening overnight and that
the
flavours intensify overnight.
Right, okay.
Now, what are you doing here?
So, this is a bit of tarragon. Do you know? Soft herb. Lovely. It's one of my favourite herbs ever, especially when it's with fish. So, tarragon is a soft herb. So, Your hard herbs would be like thyme, oregano, and rosemary. So anytime that you're using a soft herb, you just want to go in with it last because it'll keep the flavour, but it will also not go brown.
You just have that on a nice simmer, do you?
I do. So you don't want to have it on a high heat at all because it will split.
Yeah,
and I know people are conscious as well, like even how I added in the lemon juice at the start, that acid might split the milk, but it's such a small amount as well, it'll be totally grand.
Okay, and then with the fish, how long do you have to cook the fish for?
Well, it's so small. I actually got my fishmonger to cut that for me, so I was very happy with that.
Okay.
So
but you could have eaten that raw.
The trout, what is it? Trout, salmon, and what was it?
Pollock.
Pollock.
Yeah.
And you can eat those raw, can you?
I
According to Alan Hughes, you can. So, I mean, a very trusted source.
I wanted to see you eat them raw.
Just be careful. Now, if you do want to obviously speed it up if you're on television, you're just going to stir it just to keep the heat consistent around the pot. Okay. But that's like it. And because the fish is so small, it really will cook nearly instantly.
I could just, in generally, if you're at home, that would be, do it for about 6 minutes? 6 minutes?
Not even. Like, that fish is nearly cooked.
That fish is done.
Because you don't want it to be like...
We overcook fish all the time. We have this fear, don't we? Like it's not going to be cooked.
100%. Some people will even cook their like trout and salmon like medium well. They won't like. They'll still have a little bit of like.
I would do that.
See?
Yeah.
And why do you like it like that? Because I'm a flaky fish person.
Just to get rid of the Why are you eating it then?
Exactly.
It's burnt.
Because
I can taste the burning on it.
I'm told fish is good for you, but I can't face it.
Just to get rid of the taste. I love it. Oh my God, that's gas.
Right, I'm looking forward to this. I would very rarely get a chowder.
Even though it's 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah. It's lunchtime for us here. Sure, an early start. Early start for you.
I'd never order a chowder either.
Yeah.
Oh, do we have any forks or spoons?
We do. I'm ready for you. It's such a popular thing in Ireland. Like, I just moved back from Canada there a few months ago.
Yeah.
And we don't see it on any menus there.
No.
And
you don't see it in Canada?
You don't. When I
thought in America they'd have fish chowder, clam chowder, and all this type of thing.
It depends as well where you are. Like, it'd be big in San Francisco, but you wouldn't really see it on any menus.
Right. That's actually very tasty.
It's lovely. Yeah.
It wouldn't be a go-to for me now, Eimear, but I have to say,
I love your honesty,
and it's not even that burnt, and I still like it.
See what happens when you don't overcook the fish.
There you go. Absolutely delicious. Thank you so much. And well done on your first day.
Thank you very much.
In the Ireland AM kitchen. It's lovely flavours. They really are.
Eimear Brazil from the Kitchen Shift online. People, make sure to check her out.